So welcome, guys, to the Housing Directors meeting for January 19th. I'm going to share my screen with the agenda. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, I don't see the little red ring around it is why I asked. So the Housing Preservation Grant contracts, I pretty much have gotten them all from everybody. And so I want to give them to Christine in one big chunk so she can sign and I'll send you guys copies back. I'm still waiting on Skylines, but I'm not going to hold everybody else's up on that. I just want to reiterate that the grant is not a rolling grant anymore. It used to be 2 years. It's now 1 year. All the funds must be spent, not committed, spent, and by September 30th, 2022. So because there's a little lag between when you send me a payment request and then for it to get all the signatures that needs to go around to actually be sent back to HPG, I'm asking that you get those into me by September 15th to give us that 15-day window for the whole process to be completed. So please, by September 15th, please send me the payment request. And if you have any questions, go ahead.
Yeah. What's the actual dollar value we need to spend then in the next 9 months, including what's rolled over from the previous year?
It is, I'm going with a ballpark. It was about $40,000 left on 2021. It's like 42,000. Okay. So that would be 170, around 176. I'm around 176,000, 176K.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, there's not a lot of people on the call who use the HPG grant. So we're gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to Ian to give us some updates on the programs he's been working on.
All right. Hey, everyone. So yeah, we have a good amount of stuff happening. I guess I'll start with the events update just because we have one tomorrow. So we have an event tomorrow at noon. It is part of our virtual speaker series. So this event is going to be talking about missing middle housing. It'll be moderated by Keith Smith, chair of the partnership, but also it'll be including Suzanne Muma, the chair of the architecture school at UVA, and Emily Hamilton, who is a researcher at the Mercatus Institute at George Mason University. So very excited to welcome two really smart and folks that are really engaged in missing middle housing and also some of the tangential related questions around affordability, environmental impact. Yeah, a lot of issues and clearly regionally relevant because of some of the new potential new land use maps and comprehensive plans. So very excited to put that out tomorrow. So feel free to join us tomorrow at noon. The implementation grant is some great news. We were able to secure $250,000 from DHCD. We applied partnering with Piedmont Housing Alliance. So $250,000 will support two new staff members at their Housing Hub and Financial Opportunity Center, one being an eviction prevention case manager, and the second position being a landlord navigator and outreach coordinator, basically, with some money left over to support some direct assistance. So very excited about that. We're meeting with DHCD in the next, I think maybe not next week, but the week after, to sort of see how the standing up the program looks. But yeah, very excited because there was a lot of work that went into the research, sort of what needs were needed, what was needed to continue to try and prevent evictions in the region. And this was what the advisory committee decided on, were these two initiatives. So very excited that those got funded. And then the development grant update, we are looking to send out our priority applicant. Yeah, so basically we had folks submit proofs of concept. We're almost ready to basically send over our priority applicants, basically the projects that we want to fund. They'll be receiving a full application that's basically, show us your pro forma, show us some more detailed background, site plan, that kind of thing. So those will be going out by the end of next week, which is exciting. So we're very close to, beginning to, more formally partner with some of our some applicants, and yeah, spend that money and develop housing here. So
We're
that-
very hopeful on that one.
I thank you. No, I do appreciate it.
We have a big project for our, for our little counties anyway. It's big for us.
So yeah, that's what I'm up to in the housing world. And I guess another quick update about the Regional Housing Partnership is we're in the process of our strategic planning for the partnership. That should be wrapped up by June, but next week we were going to have it in person, but decided to move it virtual. A work session with the consultants and the executive committee, basically serving as the steering committee for the process, to meet. And they've had some interviews and focus groups basically with different housing stakeholders across the region. So basically we're going to be working through that and then starting to establish sort of what the vision of the partnership will be in the next 3 to 5 years is sort of the end goal. So that is what is happening.
Thanks, Ian. That's a lot going on. Thank you. So I can give an update on HomeARP. HomeARP, we've been gathering information about the gap analysis. I'm going to call upon my subrecipients also in this effort because you guys are kind of in the front lines. You see the people who come through your door. Though the funding is not specifically used exactly for the same population. Sorry, let me let Margaret in. Though the funding is not exactly used for the same population that the home funding is used for, I'm sure you all may have some insight on in other areas that you work about, at risk of becoming homelessness, veteran populations. So I will be seeking out some advice from you all about what you see going on in the counties that you work in, excuse me. Welcome, Margaret.
Hey, I'm sorry.
It's
that I'm
okay.
late.
It
Good.
is okay. Lots
It
of
is what
stuff
it
going
is.
on.
Yes.
Lots of stuff going on. We understand. But we are in the process of meeting with all the localities right now. We've met with Charlottesville. And Charlottesville will be, not only are they a recipient, but they'll be a part of this whole analysis process of getting the action plan amended, because the action plan needs to be amended before we can get access to the funding. We've met with Green. And no, we haven't met with Green. I'm setting up a meeting with Green. I apologize. Next week, sometime we'll be meeting with Green. We met with Nelson. And we will have another meeting with Nelson tomorrow. So I'm going to be reaching out to Fluvanna and Louisa in the next week or so to get something set up with Fluvanna and Louisa to let them know that the money exists and to get their input on how they want to use their part of the funding.
If
So
you need help with them, of course, reach out. They've been hard to get a hold of lately because, well, Fluvanna doesn't have a finance director right now either. And Louisa's just been covered up as well. Neither of them, of course, have a housing department, so we're kind of it. And they kind of throw everything back over to us to take care of, and they're hopeful that we pick up the pieces. But if you guys need help with which supervisors are kind of taking the lead with that type of stuff, like Fitz Barnes is the supervisor in Louisa, who's taking more of the lead on housing progress, and probably Mike Sheridan or Moselle Booker for Fluvanna.
Before the holidays, I was able to contact both and just to see who I need to include in the initial part of the room. And I know for Fluvanna, it's going to be Douglas Miles. And
good. I ran into him the other day. Perfect.
Okay. And I forgot the other gentleman's name. And
in
Louisa,
Fluvanna?
I'm sorry?
In Fluvanna?
In Fluvanna, yes.
Okay.
And Louisa, I was able to speak to someone, and I have the names, and guys, don't quote me. I mean, if you want to know Kim, I can send you who that is once I'm able to look at my document, just to talk about the initial funding. And like with Nelson, like I said, we met with them already, and they want to come back and they want to include Margaret in the conversation. What we want to initially do here is to talk to the localities first, explain to them exactly what this funding is for, how it may be differently used than home, and then ask them if they want to have another meeting, who do they want in that room? So that's kind of how it's working. I'll let you know who I got in contact with. I just didn't want to set up all the meetings at once because between Home ARP and some of the other programs that we're all working on, we didn't want to overlap with meetings. You know, we have all these polls out there about meeting, and it's like, oh, everybody can meet on this one time. So then you got to send out another poll.
Yeah, just
and so
send
that's
me,
kind of why it's kind of.
I'll reach out to Douglas Miles, because we're working on stuff for Columbia. And trying to coordinate, but I don't even know if either county really understands that we distribute the home funds for them.
And that's the other thing.
Yeah, they don't really understand how it works.
Well aware of that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we want to talk with them about so that they can understand that Home ARP and Home Partnership are two different programs. And this is what this is used for, and this is what that's used for. And do you realize that this funding is something for your locality each year? Like, what do you understand about it?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, we are well aware of that.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah, so we're working on it.
And Fluvanna particularly, I'll reach out to him because they've been kind of neglected the past few years.
Really?
Yeah, a little more. I mean, it was just, I think mostly because the office for our foundation is in Louisa County. But it's helpful. I live in Fluvanna, so we have been able to kind of change that a little bit. But I know we have outstanding funds to use in Fluvanna. And we have a lot of different places we can certainly use it. So
works for us. It works for us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, because Margaret just joined. I do want to be heavy-handed on the different terms that are now for the Housing Preservation Grant, because we want to make sure we get the money spent down. Just want to reiterate that it is now 1 year. We have until September 30th of 2022 to use the funds for this current year and the 40,000 funds left over that are committed on the current year. They have to be spent. So that's around $170,000 that we're working with for HPG. So if you have HPG projects, shove them to me, shove them, first come, first serve. It doesn't matter. Shove them to me. September 15th, 2022 is when I would like to have the last payment request so we can have that 15-day period of getting all the inside stuff with circulation of signatures and rerouting it to HPG so we won't lose anything. So just wanted to reiterate that. And also one thing I wanted to also, it's not on here, is that home funds, it is that 2-year period that you have to spend your home funds. You have to commit, not spend. They need to be committed in 2 years. Number one. Number two, home funds are low, very low, and extremely low. So low, 80%, very low, 50%, extremely low, 30%. HPG funds are very low, 50% AMI, then 30%. So, and that was a reminder for me as well. Just keep that in mind. If someone's applying for HPG, they need to be very low, not just low. So, so moving on. As far as administration goes, just want to let you guys know, we have to, I think the couple of meetings back, I told you guys that Erin and I got the CAPER back and HUD had some questions that we had to update. They accepted the CAPER with our update. So this is an old one, I think. That's done. I didn't change the language, but the CAPER is submitted and it's accepted. That's saying we are waiting for HUD's response. We are not waiting for HUD's response. We got the response And the
Ditto.
caper is good to go for this year. We're good on that. New business, I don't have any. Do you guys have any new business you want to discuss, or we can wait till roundtable to talk about what's going on? Up to you guys. Any questions thus far on anything I've talked about? No? Okay. Old business, Nelson County Community Development Foundation have been granted access to the $200,000 loan. I need to get that paperwork done for you, Margaret. I know. And once we submit it, the terms will be, it's a PHA total loan, 0% interest. And by the end of 3 years, they will have that paid back in full. So thank you guys for responding to that and your help and the questions.
Thank
Much
you very
appreciated.
Yes.
Margaret, I have not forgotten about you.
No,
I will get to that. I will definitely get to that. Roundtable. It's not a lot of us here. And do you just for Margaret's sake, do you want to just go over the highlights? Because there was a lot of good stuff up there. Sorry to make you, just highlights, just so that Margaret can know, especially about VERP.
Sure. Excuse me. Yeah, I guess the big thing is we got $250,000 from DHCD to do a VERP implementation grant. So that'll be given over to Piedmont Housing Alliance and be creating new positions at their new housing hub and financial opportunity center here in Charlottesville.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, very excited. PDC development grant, we're looking to send out award letters by the end of next week. And then we have an event tomorrow, an RHP event tomorrow at noon.
I think I'm signed up for it.
Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I guess the only thing I have for you all is I feel like I'm giving you guys a lot of environmental reviews, and I want to make sure that they look okay, because sometimes I can mess them up a little bit. Okay.
They look fine to me.
Sweet.
I will be honest. I just hand them to Charisse.
That's fine.
Yeah. If they don't say there's anything wrong, I also use them to do the one I have to do with the one that takes 30 days, whatever that one is. And
Yeah, we just forward them on to
review.
DHR.
Yeah.
DHR. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that's the one that counts, but I can't do it without yours. But if they,
Right.
yeah, and I haven't had any problem with them either, except for the Renaissance Ridge part. And I really don't have any problems. It's just a little bit more intense.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm. And on my end, when I get them, I do look at them and they look just like Nick's look.
Yeah.
If they were wrong, Ian, DHR wouldn't accept them.
Yeah.
So we know that they're fine. DHR,
Yes.
yeah. So,
Well, I'm
yeah.
happy to do them because it seems like, it's stuff happening. It's cool to see, you guys doing work. So it's sort of how I keep on top of it, at least.
Yeah,
And
they
I
look the
appreciate
same
you
as they
doing
looked
those.
before.
That's the
Hey.
best compliment you can give me. So there you go.
Which I'll say was what we're striving for. So, no, thanks for that, Ian. So roundtable. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna stop sharing because I like seeing everybody. It's just, better that way for me. I know there's not a lot of us. I guess I was seeing everybody, but we don't need that anymore. I'm going to go by how I see you on my screen to ask what's going on in your part of the world. So Kim, you are first.
Like I told you, we lost one of our employees, and with only 4 of us total, that's a big gap for us. So I do have sort of a mass email that I'm going to be sending out with some of the details, Charisse, so I'll include you on that. We are looking for somebody preferably in the Fluvanna Louisa area. That really helps us to facilitate the repairs program and, push people over to HPG, obviously, is one of our heavier uses. We're looking for land in both counties to begin a couple of building projects. Of course, we do have a submission for the recent, hopefully, we'll be progressing with that and doing a pro forma with Susan Steinmart and the Central Virginia Regional Housing Partnership. All these different programs are getting mixed up in my head. But we're just, we're still digging out from the snowstorm a little bit. And trying to keep on top of things. So it just keeps pushing us back a little bit further. But we do have probably 8 HPGs that are in process that I've just sent you 2. So as I get paperwork and DHR approval on those, I'll be forwarding them on. So we will try to do our part in getting HPG funds spent down. And that's really all that's going on here.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So what you're gonna send me, is it okay once you send me that if I just send it out to everybody, or did you? So I can
Yeah.
wait on that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then okay,
That'd be
perfect.
great. Thank you.
Kim, did you say you were gonna send us kind of like a description? Because I would love to have a job description that you've got, so I can use that, because I need to hire the same position here to do projects, because it's, you know, it's just too hard to run the place and to do the projects too.
Right. It is. And just running around. So now I'm having to run around and take pre-pictures and post-pictures and
Mhm.
get people's signatures. And
Mhm.
it is a lot, submit stuff to get environmental to Ian, then submit the DHR, then submit the stuff to Sharice and
Mhm.
coordinate the contractor. And
Yeah,
it goes on
Yes.
and on. So
it
that's a
does.
whole-
It goes on and on.
Yeah, so what we're doing, we had somebody who could do that and then coordinate the ramps program and do inspections for the housing choice voucher
Right.
program. That helps our housing choice voucher person, be able to concentrate on her job.
Right.
So that's really the nuts and bolts of it. They would take that on, but I'll be glad to forward that to you as well, Margaret.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And Margaret, you're next, but I have a question before I forget. What you sent me on Friday with the one client, I think Mr. White, if I'm making his name up, Miss
It's
White,
her
I'm
name,
sorry.
Florence. That's okay. Her real name is Kathy Rose. I mean, her name is really
Kathy Rose
Florence
White.
but everybody calls her Kathy Rose, so go figure that out. I don't know.
But I had a question because it's a HPG and the home.
Right.
The
Should I
home
just-
application you did not send.
Okay. You
Okay,
said
just want to make
send
sure
me an
you
email
got
back.
that.
I did. I just
Okay,
like
just,
it's
yeah.
been the snow has
Right, and I
really-
understand.
Yeah.
I totally no rush. I just wanted to
Okay.
make sure we're all in. You got that email, so we won't be waiting.
Actually, her name is
Like,
Pauline. I don't know why I said.
Yeah. You know
I
what?
have another one named Florence. So here it is.
That helps
right
me
here.
out because I'm doing an HPG for a lady and then USDA, I was gonna wait on their application, see if they actually came through with it, but I don't think they will do it in a timely fashion for this lady to get the roof done. So I can submit home request for her in combination.
right, they don't
with
have to be at the
HPG.
same time at all.
Okay.
They can be at different times. It's
Perfect.
quite possible, but just remember what I said earlier, that HPG, they have to be at 50%. That's all.
We don't have any problem here with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
me either.
I don't think I've
Okay.
submitted any that were wrong, but
Actually,
yeah,
I mean,
ours
Yeah.
are like 18% sometimes. And
I haven't gotten mine
Right.
out there yet, but
Right, no, you don't have to submit them at the same time. It's just that Margaret did submit one. I didn't see the home application. I didn't want her to think that I was processing that yet, because I don't have the home. I
have
the-
it. I just didn't.
Send it, right,
So
right. Yeah, just wanted to,
I'll check it.
Okay.
I'll check it.
that works for me. So what do you got going on, Margaret, over there in Nelson County?
We're just digging out is the main thing. We manage this building as part of our job, and the Nelson Center is a big old school with slate roofs and snow's coming off the roof and ripping off awnings on the building. And then my plow guy bailed on me, and so we're just getting plowed out today. And we have a big parking lot. And oh my Lord, my arms are killing me from shoveling. So. Because I'm out there in the trenches, so nobody breaks a leg, and I got a big old insurance claim on me. So, but we've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 different projects in some level of completion or in the works. A bunch of roofs, as always, heating systems. This one family's been hitting their electric box with a hammer for 10 years, and all of a sudden they don't have electricity anymore, and now it's my fault, so they're calling me 5 times a day going, why aren't you here? So then Renaissance Ridge, we're working on our 106 review there, or I think was part of a 58 review. I don't know. I'm getting a little confused too with all of the reviews. But we had to do, and I think this is a law now that everybody has to do a cultural review for developments. So any development has to do it. So we're working with the Monacan Nation. And of course, as soon as we get plowed, it snows. And so we have, we're plowing it up so the guy can come in and look for arrowheads and such right now. And so as soon as all of that goes through, the for-profit side of the project is working on nailing down their funding. And we have our funding in place, and the $200,000 you guys are going to lend me, which I appreciate so much, is, like I said, going to be bridge funding for the 10 to 20 people that we can house in this development. So we're hoping to start breaking ground in the next 3 to 6 months. It's kind of exciting. It's going to be really exciting. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
Thank you, Margaret. Lots of stuff going on as usual. But thanks. So Kathleen, you're next. You're up.
Hey, I'm over at our West Haven Community Center, and the internet's been a little funny. I understand about trying to shovel up ice. That's such a pain right now. We have active development happening at 2 sites, South First Street and Crescent Hall, and are working with resident planners on our site plan submission for 6th Street. We're also working on our planning process for, which will be at least 2 years for West Haven, and we're trying to get a calendar figured out for that amid COVID and the snow. So hope to have that soon. We're spending a lot of time, that's why I'm over here. We're setting up a Section 3 program with a lot of initiatives, and a big one we're about to launch is around maintenance apprenticeships. So we've been doing a lot of outreach with local partners such as KTEC and PVCC to help grow our job force and also provide opportunities. That's sort of the bigger things that are happening. There's a million others, like I'm sure everyone else has.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thanks a lot. One thing I did want to talk about, because I'm just saying, when I talked to our HUD rep, she mentions it a lot. And I know that we try in this area. Something Kathleen said just brought it to my attention. For the federal programs, mainly it's written into home. They like for us to try to get minority workers, women, racial groups. And we normally don't have that. We report on it at the end of the year, and she normally does ask, why, and there's just not a lot in the area. So I'm just putting it on the radar. If you see someone you want to work with, let's try to aim to incorporate that a little bit more if we can. I do understand if they're just not there, they're just not there. And since I've been here, and Billy told me before I took over, it's just in this area, it's hard to find. So, but I noticed when I talked to her, I was recently, we've been in talks over on one of the projects. And, she's mentioned it a couple of times, has your minority business participation, has that improved? I'm thinking from last year, what we did at the Caper. We're in a pandemic, but, I'm just putting it out there that, just a reminder. And like I said, it's it could be women's businesses. It could be, especially since you guys are talking about finding someone for your organizations, I know you definitely want to, get qualified people as well. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, just keep that in mind. That's all.
We actually have a set up Section 3 program with a coordinator in place, and we're through grant funding about to hire an assistant due to folks coming in. We're working on a vision that we've already had some conversations with UVA Economic Development about this in the city for kind of more unified Section 3 efforts. And we'll definitely share that with the group once we're ready to roll some of that out. But we do here at West Haven have a Section 3 coordinator in place. You probably know her. It's Joy Johnson. And we're going to be she and I are going to all the public housing sites in about a week and recruiting for an assistant for her. That is going to be a career track position among public housing residents. But we're real excited. We are also recruiting for Section 3 businesses and happy to help anybody if they need information on that. We've done a lot of training on Section 3 the past year, and we're really excited to get it off the ground.
That would be great. I definitely, please share that with us. And I also want to just go back. Section 3 includes local. So when you mention Kim, that includes people who live within the community as well. And for home, it's triggered at, I think, $200,000 on the project. We want it for all of our they would like it for all of our projects, but it's definitely something if we have a project. And Margaret, since you have the Choto coming up, it might definitely be something we want to try to look for. If it doesn't exist for Nelson County, it just doesn't exist.
All of
But it's
those,
definitely something that it will be triggered once it gets above that certain dollar amount, and we will have to show that we did try to find it. So.
well, if it's local or minority or women based, ours is, I would say 100%, if not, I mean, maybe it's 99%.
See, there's two things. It's Section 3.
Mm-hmm.
And for home, Section 3, like I said, it's triggered once it's above. I'll go get the exact for you. I think it's $200,000. But overall, for the home program, they would like for us to promote minority contractors, which is it's not so, it's local, but it's local and not local or, so. But Section 3 is something that, because that training, I've been in those trainings too. I'm like, Section 3, I didn't get this memo. But luckily, since most of our projects, since I've been here, hasn't gone over that threshold, we haven't been, what's the word I'm looking for? We won't get in trouble because it hasn't triggered it, because we haven't, since I've been here, had any projects that went over that threshold. And once again, we won't get penalized if we show that we did the right advertising. We in the area, we just don't have it. You can only get, what's here. So any more questions, or anybody want to share anything else? No? Margaret, you were about to say?
I was going to ask Kathleen if, are you going to put together a list of minority contractors? Is that what you were saying? Or do you
There
have
is-
something like that already?
We're working on that. And there's also, you can go to the HUD website to get some of that, but we are finding a lot of individuals who kind of slip between the cracks, and we're helping them get registered there. We're also looking at just some training programs. I just actually had someone left who we're helping set up a cleaning company. She's been doing it, but just never quite got it to be.
We don't have the volume of people out here, but I mean, I was just talking with a young man.
Happening on a lot of different levels.
I mean, because I'm on the school board out here in Nelson too, and we just don't have, like I said, we don't have a volume of people. So, I mean, if there is a way we could piggyback between, our CIT program or CTE program, sorry, and just ways to get people, use the funding I have to help set up, apprenticeship programs, because we need more people out here that are in the building trades, especially, just generally speaking, not even to mention the female and the, all of the, equity aspects of that, and a lot of the times what happens is people go into the business because their father, their uncle, whatever, are doing it, but they're not aware that they could, that they need to get to a certain level of expertise, that they don't necessarily want to get paid cash all the time. They need to have this, they need to have that, and then they have access to even more business through programs like this. So, I mean, like, I don't need another job, but I'd love to have another job. Because that's like one of those dovetail things that I don't think anybody's thinking about out here that I could, maybe be the catalyst for, if that's even a word or even a thing. And just
Yeah,
another
that's
place for me
why
to,
I'm here on the ground helping with it. It's just so important.
yeah. Great. Well, I'm going to hit you up later.
All right.
Gonna be
And
my mentor.
Kathleen, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, you said that there was a list on HUD's website, for local?
Yeah, well, HUD has a portal of registered Section 3 businesses that you can look at for areas, and it's pretty slim for Charlottesville.
Okay.
So we're working on getting people onto that list. And we also, what we've been doing a lot of is as our sites are being developed by contractors, we're finding individuals that have certain businesses and getting them to a place where they can apply as subs. And also working, we've got a lot of folks who are almost there, especially carpenters. And we're just helping figure out what the gaps are. A lot of braiding together programs with Network to Work and WIOA. We just had a really great meeting with KTEC, PVCC, WIO, and a lot of people today about how we're going to start trying to knit it all together, because we find a lot, we have a lot of folks, in order to get them on the career track, need a built-in support program as well. And there's a lot of other pieces that need to happen for them to be successful. And there has to also be an aftercare program. Can't just say, congratulations, here you go. So we're working on all that, and it's great. We're getting a lot of great local support.
Well, I will go check that out on the HUD website, and I will send that what's there right now around. Kathleen, thank you for taking on this initiative to, try to build that up in our area, because I know that long-standing, just talking with people from that work at Charlottesville, this has been an issue with what's available in the area for a very long time, that it's just not there. So, and maybe, like you said, it's slipping through the cracks. It's there, it's just not seen.
Yeah, we're pretty passionate about it, because like the Belmont Bridge is happening now, and just because it's a VDOT project, it isn't HUD funded. So, there's a little get out of jail free card there, but we want to really work on local commitments to focus on hiring local people regardless. So
Right.
that's one of the big things we're working on together right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, guys. Anything else anyone would like to share, ask? Any final words? Okay, well, I just want our next meeting will be Wednesday, February 16th at 1 p.m. I will have this recording up by the end of the week. It's always a process with these recordings. They just, I never remember the steps. Basically, it's not a process. It's me. It's the user. But just so that if you guys want to look back to it, refer to it, and for those people who aren't here, so that they can see it and have something to refer to. Please come tomorrow to the speaking series about the missing middle. I'm going to be there. It's one of those things that I'm pretty passionate about, that I would like to know as a person who's working in housing, what can we do and what's going on? It should be very, very interesting. So if that is all, I am going to stop the recording.